Hey, it's MK and I am back with Christy's Beautiful Life, Best of 30 Days of Sketches. This is the sketch that I will be, using as inspiration today, and it is a sketch designed by Susanna Lee. So I pulled out this really cool mossy ribbon. It's like a mesh ribbon from Hobby Lobby. I also pulled out my Dark and Light Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blends markers. I have some cut files from some assemblage required Etsy shop. And I plan on doing a little bit of mixed media on these little cut files. I cut them out exactly as they are downloaded into the Cricut Design Studio. So I didn't change the sizes or anything. I also have a bunch of acrylic pieces that were left over from the fall collection that are no longer available from some assemblage required as well. And then I have this Mrs. Brimble's sticker sheet that I picked up from Dottie About Flair, that website over there. And I have the, what are they called? Craft. I have the craft chipboard pieces as well as the sticker sheet from the Timber collection by Close to My Heart. And then I picked out this awesome plaid piece that is from Simple Stories, the Vintage Lemon Twist collection. Now, this was the first release. I haven't compared the first and the last to each other, so I just picked up a few pieces that I knew would be great staples to have in the scrap room. So anyways, what I'm doing is these leaves were a little too on the neon side for what I was looking for. I was looking more for fall leaves that are getting ready to turn and fall off, that sort of thing. So I'm taking my Mossy Meadow light and dark blends, and I am changing the colors. Now, I love the fact that I'm not changing the edges of them, so the edges will still be that neon green when you look at the side of my layout or embellishment or whatever. But as far as the tops go, I am taking the darks and the lights and just going back over coating them one time and then going back over and mottling them. So basically what that means is that I am taking the alcohol marker, letting it dry, and then going back in and moving that pigment and causing the mottle look. So then I'm going to take a bunch of my paper glazes as well as stencil butter. So the paper glazes are from Picket Fence. The stencil butter is from the Crafter's Workshop. I also have some Nouveau embellishment mousse that I'm going to see if it's not cruddy and yucky and just needs to be thrown away, or if I can use it for this one project. But as far as I know, I'm using the paper glaze here. This is Brown Dahlia as well as the gold one. I think it's called Rose Gold or Golden Rose, I think is what it's called. I apologize for not knowing the exact name. And then this is India Gold. It is just a little sample piece, and it works really well because I just barely opened it. But the next time I go to use it, because I've opened it, it won't work at all. It'll be all dried and crusty and useless. And then I'm using the yellow, which I think is pronounced gamboge. I don't really know, over the top of it. So the yellow is actually allowing the stencil butter to not be so neon yellow, which I still love, but I was looking for more of that autumn yellow, which I don't have. So I'm trying to make my own by mixing the two. Okay, so here's where I have this orange, something burnt orange or something like that in the Nouveau mousse, and it is drier than dry. So I'm pushing really hard into it to just get some pigment onto my finger and get it onto the paper without ripping the paper. And of course, I peel it up in some places, and it's just frustrating, and I really wanted to just throw it away, but I wanted that yellow or that orange, and I didn't get any. So now I'm going in with a vintage drop, also by Nouveau, and this one is called Peachy Keen. Again, I don't have a whole lot of oranges, but I was able to reactivate the embellishment mousse and push it around a little bit more by using the Nouveau drop. So I was able to get the color that I was mostly looking for. Okay, so now I am going into my green paper glaze again. I'm not sure what color this one is, but it's a little more on the I don't know, on the tealy side, then I wanted a really dark green. So then I tried to lighten it up using this Nouveau green, but I'm not even going to tell you what color it was because forget it. I think it was forest green, but it was too pastel-y. So I went into my stencil butter and brought out this green here, which again, I'm not sure what the name of it is. I apologize. But I will try to put links down below to all of these colors. So in case you are curious and getting what you want, getting some in your arsenal, you can. So anyways, now I am going to go ahead and group everything in. I always start all my clusters off by gathering the supplies that I would like to see within the cluster. Sometimes they don't make it, sometimes they do. I'm going to pull out this mesh ribbon. The mesh ribbon is actually going to represent the tags or the banner pieces that are in my layout, or in my sample sketch, I should say. So they're going to represent that hangy downy bit. And then of course where the photos are supposed to be, that's where all of my elements are. So the leaves, the little tiny word stickers that I'm picking out, all of those are going to be represented as the photo. And then I do want to bring in this plaid again as my photo piece, but I didn't want to just cut it in a square. So I decided to use up these dies that I picked up from my good best friend Janae. She every now and then destashes a few retired Stampin' Up! Elements, and I am the lucky owner of these. Are they pinking circles? P-I-N-K? I'm not sure. But there's zigzagged circles. So I'm going to pop those down and use them also as the representation of where the photo is going to go. And then I have this punch that is not represented in the die set, but it is the next size in between the medium and the next to medium. Set. So I really wanted to just use up the rest, and I was glad I had that punch that kind of matched the set. So yay, I have all of the sizes now. So I'm going to go and work from large to small. And of course, what doesn't make it into my clusters will be used, brought in as little extras for the layout, for space filling in and whatnot. So I still don't have a clue what, I have the pictures picked out and I have the papers picked out, but I'm not really sure exactly how any of this is going to look. I know for my other layout, I need a title piece. So that is why I'm making this really large cluster. And then, this one piece will represent my title, and then the So Plaid Your Mine is going to be my subtitle. So I definitely I giggled at myself at that one because my oldest son, is going through the plaid stage. So he's got his whole outfit on, and then every outfit goes with his plaid, whether it's his red plaid shirt, his orange plaid shirt, or his black and white plaid shirt. It just depends on, his mood and feel and the look he is going for. Which is plaid. So anyways, yes, I am very proud of my plaid boys, and they actually all have plaid shirts. My middle son wears them all the time. He unless he is, in the summertime, he doesn't, because they're all long sleeve. But yes, I just love the plaid, and you guys can't see it because I'm not talking about the layout. I'm doing, these, yes, I'm doing clusters. So for this mesh, I'm very impatient. It takes a long time for my super fast deluxe adhesive glue to take hold of anything that goes on or behind this mesh. And so I have to be patient and hold it down. Very, very, very time consuming, if I have to say so myself. And I'm saying hold it down for not even a minute, you guys. But seriously, it is not my favorite thing in the world to do, is to sit there and hold things down while my glue is going. I do forget Janet's little trick of putting an acrylic block down and let it hold it. I do forget that quite a bit. But for me, I'm feeling like when I use my fingers, I'm actually pushing into all the little grooves and nooks and crannies that are actually going to adhere my piece a little bit better than just setting an acrylic block down to adhere to the high parts of this mesh. So maybe it is a good thing that I took a few seconds out of my day to hold down these pieces. But because this one was on the top, I kind of had to. Everything else will get held down with washi tape because of the fact that it will be behind the circle instead of in front of the circle. So yes, they will get held by washi tape, which I can actually push the washi tape down into the grooves and things like that. And it makes me feel better that is being held down instead of just a solid block that only hits the high points. So anyways, yeah, enough about me complaining about having to hold things down for a second. I finished off my so-called title card, and now I am just creating more clusters to go with what, what I plan on using them for, and sister clusters, I guess, I should say. I'm also using a bunch of foam because I do have acrylic pieces that I would like to incorporate. And so when you do add the acrylic pieces, foam helps because then it looks like everything is on the same dimension. I'm also trying to put my my mesh down so that way it does do a good representation of the banner pieces that are all hanging down. Now, I don't know whether or not all of my pieces are going to be hanging down, going off to the right, going off to the left, things like that. But that was the intention of bringing in this mesh to begin with, was to have it represent the banner pieces. Whether they go all in the same direction when they get to the layout, I'm not really sure. But when I create them, that is what I have in mind for them in the first place. My title card, I had my banner piece go off to the right instead of straight down because I didn't want them all to look the same. I do want them to be slightly on the difference. That was not even English. I don't know where that came from. Anyways, I do want them to look slightly different. So in my brain, if I were to have turned the sketch, then yes, all the banner pieces would be going off to the side. I didn't turn it. It was just in my brain and on my mind of, the mesh is representing the banner. The circle and all of the embellishments on top of the circle are representing the photo spot. So, and that is pretty much everything that I have to go off of. I'm slightly ignoring the hearts that are that are kind of scattered on the layout. I'm slightly ignoring those because to me, the main element, the main focal point of this sketch are the beautiful photos going straight across and then the banners coming down. And so that is what I'm trying to do. I've got a circle and I've got a banner, and then everything else that goes on top of the circle is kind of a bonus type of deal. It's some sketches are kind of hard to see where you get your embellishment clusters from, and some are not. So these little stickers from Bramble Fox, in this video, I actually leave them as they are. They are printed on what feels to me like slightly thicker than copy paper stickers. It is great for just adding a tiny word sticker to them, but when I added them to the dimension, the highs and the lows of the acrylic, I feel like I needed to beef them up a little bit. So later, and especially not in this video, I will be adding them to cardstock and giving them a little bit more meat to them so that way they can sit nicely on top of the acrylic and across all of the elements on the embellishment. So, but I just wanted to tell you guys that I do end up doing that. It's just off camera. But right now, all I'm doing is adding a little bit of dimension behind it, so that way it's on the same level as the acrylic pieces. But when it comes to right now, I didn't think about needing to beef them up until I started putting them on my layout, and they were actually falling off of the acrylic pieces because there's not enough oomph to them to make them stick. If that makes any sense. All right, so that is the last little piece that I did. I did do a cute little circle with some leaves going around because it just made me smile, but nothing too big. I used pop dot or glue dots to put them onto the back of the circle, and that was it. It made me smile. that's it. But these are my embellishments. You can see the wonkiness of the tiny word stickers. So yes, they will be fixed, but in the next video, when I actually have the next video. All right. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble today. As always, I really, really enjoy it. Thank you so, so much. Be sure to check out the playlist of everyone else playing along. We are almost at our end. And I'm super excited. I had a blast doing the embellishments and then creating the layout. It made this series go by so fast. But I did enjoy doing it this way, and I might do it again for you guys. Yeah, maybe. All right. Thank you again, and I will check y'all later. Bye.